All right, everybody, we are back. It is, what is it, Friday morning? Valentine's Day, actually. We got something really special and sweet for you guys. Got my good friend Jerry Green on, and we're going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that you are making when you're talking to sellers. Jerry is an absolute master of sales and acquisitions, and super excited to have him on. And if you stay till the end, we're going to talk about something really cool that's coming up. So, Jerry, thank you for coming on this morning, man. Let's jump right into it.
Absolutely, David.
What is the one biggest mistake that you're making with, or other people are making when talking to sellers?
Wow, there's a lot of mistakes, but I would say one of the biggest mistakes that people do over and over again is just jumping right in and making them an offer. You know, it's just they go in, they talk a little bit about the, hey, why you're selling, the condition of the property, and then they go right in and ask them what they want for the property, and they just make them an offer. And they do that within a few minutes. Okay. Biggest mistake. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And so what are some of the problems with that? I mean, obviously I know, but like, I feel like there's a ton of missed opportunities there and, places to get yourself in trouble.
Oh, 100%. I think one of the easiest ways to look at this is for people to think about it as if they were going to the doctor's office. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if they're going to the doctor, and they walk in the doctor's office and they go in an exam room, doctor comes in, and let's just say you got some issues going on and there's some concerns you have and you're not sure what all is happening, but you really have some real concerns. So you walk in, you start sharing that with the doctor. Doctor kind of cuts you off real quickly and says, well, I think this is what it is. Go do this. And you walk out of there and you feel like, man, I don't think they get it. I have other issues going on, right? And it's like they didn't listen to you. So what happens is you go to check out the front desk and you leave there and you're uncertain. So you're uncertain. So what do? You seek a second opinion. Okay. So one of the biggest things I see people do and make a big mistake on is they go out and they don't do the proper exam for their clients and they prematurely make the offer. And what happens is when you prematurely make the offer, just like the doctor does, and the client and the patient looks for a second opinion, they go for second opinions looking at other offers. Okay.
Right.
So,
yeah, I was at this event maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and they talked about how we're in the trust economy now. And this relates a lot back to sellers. And I know you talk about this a lot, but they have to trust that we're going to solve their problem, that we can solve their problem, that we're going to do the things that we said we're going to do. Because, what I always was taught and tell people is, these people are losing sleep at night over this property, right? This is keeping them up. And they are, think about the absurdity of what we do. We put out bandit signs, we send people postcards, text them, cold call them, PPC, they're at 2 a.m. looking online for who buys houses. Like, these are people that are in distress.
Absolutely. Well, it's people are in distress, but what's interesting too, David, is it's not even just even people in distress. It's people that have motivation, but maybe they don't have the high distress. And the thing is, what we've learned is that it doesn't matter where somebody sits on what we call the seller continuum.
Okay.
What it comes down to is this: if you can understand where a person is at now, and you have the ability to build the gap from where they're now to where they want to be, that's That's how you become the top 1% closers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that.
Because, people, they overthink this way too much. All of us want the highly distressed, highly motivated sellers. But we got to remember, most of our clients coming in aren't that way.
Yeah,
So what we look at is how can we take tire kickers and convert them to a deal?
nice. So making offers too quick, premature offers. What's the number two biggest mistake that you see people making?
I would say another big one that people make on things is not properly setting what we call the stage. Okay.
Mm,
Because what happens is you enter a conversation with someone, like if you were a seller, David, and I jump on and I just start going right at it. Well, how do I even know you have the time to talk right now?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's one thing. Also, uh, by going in and setting the stage, what it does is the purpose of it is to relieve sales pressure.
Oh, yeah. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah. Because think about this. We, as a society in general, we have been trained by poorly trained salespeople for almost all our lives that when we enter a conversation, our walls of resistance are up. Now, just think about it, just for even the two of us and any of our listeners. You get a call coming in on a cold call, or you
Mhm.
walk at the mall and you see a kiosk. What
Yeah.
do? You try to avoid that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm making the circle around it. Yeah.
Right. But why is that? It's because we've been trained that way.
Hmm.
Not a formal training, but the training is from poorly executed sales processes
Yeah.
by poorly trained salespeople. So we do that. So what we have to do is by setting the stage, it relieves that sales pressure, opens things up for open, honest communication. So that's the second thing that I see.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, and I would guess in some of that, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I love to talk about. Do you have a couple of minutes? I mean, is it that kind of conversation with
Yeah,
people?
it usually opens up like, hey, David, hey, basically, let's say you call me and say, hey, David, I'm Jerry.
Mhm.
Good to meet you, man. So forth. And hey, let me ask you, do you have 15 minutes? And then you pause. A lot of people forget to pause.
Mm,
Pause. Let them answer. Yeah, I do. Oh, great. Well, hey, David, I'd love to talk to you about your property and also find out a little bit about what's going on and what made you even consider contacting us today. Fair enough?
yeah.
Pause. Okay. And then from there, we go time, we go agenda, and then we do an outcome. An outcome, it would be, hey, David, that sounds great. David, what I'd love to do then is after we review everything, I'd love to be able to get the process started today. Now, notice I said process
Mhm.
versus sign a contract.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I'd love to get the process started today. And just so you know, David, if it's something that we can't work together, I just want to let you know, no problem at all. You know what? At least we gave it our best shot.
Mhm.
And just let you know, a no is okay. Fair enough?
Fair enough. How do you argue with that?
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, what that does compared to so many other sales reps coming in, other acquisition reps, set you apart. Okay.
Mhm.
And you reduce sales pressure, opens up open and honest communication.
Yeah, and I think that's something I know a lot of people talk about that. Yeah, there's no new list under the sun. There's no secret list. We're all talking
No.
to the same people. So it is important to differentiate yourself. And
Oh, it's a night and day difference, dude. I watch it all the time, and the people that come through our training convert higher than other people. Not only do they convert higher, but they get bigger margins on a per transaction.
really interesting. So they don't have to be like high pressure screaming, I'm
No,
calling you while I'm working out at the gym and
none of that BS.
all that nonsense.
Not a bunch of gold chains.
No tight black t-shirts and all that. It's a new world out there, man. It's not you and me that have been around for a long time do things just probably a little bit different. But that's why we've had
Dude, I know,
such
dude. I can't believe this is
success.
year 31.
Third, dude, I'm 23. You're at 31. That's crazy.
That means I'm old.
Yeah, I know. I tell people I was just too dumb to quit. That's like the nicest thing I could say about it.
Uh,
Well,
so
cool. So we've talked about presenting offers a little prematurely, too quick, setting the stage for the conversation and the ultimate offer. What's one of the third biggest mistake that you're seeing people make?
well, here's a really big one on things.
Mhm.
And people a lot of times don't even how to they have to process this. And that is stop asking the seller what they want for their property.
Oh, I know. Who cares? They're
Okay.
all going to say $1 million.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I made a post about that and I said, asking the seller,
I saw
okay,
that. Yes.
yeah, for a price is like asking the IRS how much they want in taxes.
Yes.
Okay? It has no bearing on things. Because here's the reason behind this. A lot of people don't get this. See, when you ask a seller for a price, they come out, and especially in today's world, when they can just pull up Zillow, right? Everybody's a real estate expert, okay?
Mhm.
And what happens on that, David, they throw out a number on things. They are doing something that is one of the biggest strategies used in basically department stores, restaurants, and it's called price anchoring.
Yeah.
And the seller is price anchoring you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're actually price anchoring you. So think about this. If they price anchor you and it's a very high number, then you got to be down here. That's a lot harder number to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we train people to price anchor them.
Right.
Okay. And here's the cool thing about it, David. The key to this, the absolute key to this is when we price anchor, it's not an offer. It's a comparison number. Okay.
Yeah.
For instance, let's just say you were going to a really nice steakhouse. You walk into the nice steakhouse, right? And on that nice in that nice restaurant, they have what's the real expensive? Was it Wagyu, the beef?
Yeah. Wagyu. Yeah.
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 Okay. So you can get
It's
steak.
amazing.
Yeah, it is. But you can have
Yeah.
a steak that'd be $500, right?
Dude, I've done it a couple times. It was amazing, but it was so expensive.
Okay. So let's think about it. You walk really nice steakhouse. They have that. You can get a steak for $500.
Mm-hmm.
But also down the menu, they turn around and they lead with that $500. But then they have down there too, where you can get a nice grilled chicken meal for $60.
And you're like,
Now,
what a bargain.
right. But any other place we would go to, $60 for a grilled chicken,
Yeah.
it'd be so what they're doing is they're price anchoring you.
Interesting.
Okay. So what we do is we do the same thing, but we reverse it with the seller.
Okay.
So it might be something like, David, based upon everything we talked about here today, I'll tell you this, I would feel really comfortable, and I know I wouldn't lose money if, and I just feel really comfortable about 150,000, but I know that's something you would never consider anyways.
Mhm.
Okay. Now what I've done, and I can even lead it up, say, by the way, David, too, that's not my offer. I know I would feel really comfortable there, and I know I wouldn't lose money.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I did is I dropped an anchor. I didn't drop an offer. And then what happens is you wait for them to give you a solution.
Right.
And it's amazing, the technique, guys. I literally, Dave, I've seen so many people make a ton of money by using the anchor technique.
I love that.
It's a comparison number.
That's powerful stuff, guys. I hope you guys are writing that down as you're watching this or seeing it in the replay. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, David, what I've learned on this and over the years is that these techniques that we talk about are it doesn't matter what industry you're in sales.
Mm-hmm.
The things that we're talking about here are the things that put you in the top 1% of closers.
Yeah. 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 And I mean, God goodness, there's so many people that want to do this that never make the calls. They won't even do the thing, So
Exactly.
Yeah. And it does seem like there is a system, there's a formula to do this.
Well, see, that's the key, bro, on that. Too many people focus on, they go, I want to hire, or I have to be a rock star salesperson, or I have to hire this rock star salesperson.
Yeah.
Stop focusing on that. Instead, focus on a rock star sales process and just bring in an average person that has the drive and the proper personality.
Right. Where are you on scripts? Are you a script person? Yes or no?
So I think scripts are great. Okay. But a script is nothing more than a roadmap.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. See, and here's another thing too. I see a lot of people, and I'm not knocking other people's sales trainings and stuff, but what I'm saying out there is I see a lot of people say, "Hey, come to my training. I'll give you my scripts." Scripts mean nothing unless you understand the why behind it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think it's important to not sound like a robot,
it
right?
is. It
To be
is.
conversational and that people feel like you're there to help them and be a part of the solution.
Script should be a tool.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like if I went out and tried to work on a car, and somebody gave me a tool. I said, I don't know how to use this tool. Well, it
Right.
doesn't do any good. So when people tell me all the time, Jerry, can I get your scripts? I said, scripts don't really mean anything unless you understand the psychological side behind all that,
Right.
and when to use them properly.
Mm. Yeah, I would agree with that. I used to call it a call flow because it was more of like
Yeah, a
here
roadmap, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
roadmap is the same thing.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely, bro.
what about how important is tonality and the
Oh,
way
huge.
they say things?
Yeah, voice inflection. That tonality, big component of things. Okay,
Hmm.
well, you saw what I was just doing a minute ago.
Hmm.
You got to there's empathy. There's
Right.
so many things that we can do when it comes to that, but then it plays a huge role in it.
And I love what you say, the power of silence. So good.
Yep.
So good. Just I tell
People,
people all the time, just just hush. Just shush up for just a minute.
I'll never forget, I had one seller I was working with. I dropped an anchor and I waited almost 10 minutes in silence.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yep, almost 10 minutes. And he was just waiting for me to say something on things. And I just held off. And then he offered a solution. And the interesting thing, the solution he offered
Mm-hmm.
was a solution where I was willing to pay more than his solution.
Mm.
So,
Interesting. I love that. That's absolutely amazing. So let's talk about this. We talked about a ton of different things. I know you are this is the awkward transition here. I'm gonna bump you over because I really want to talk about this. I think it's important. You do a lot of training in your office for investors. We actually sent our people up to your office to get trained back when we were running Nationwide Property Liquidators. So I know that it is absolutely amazing and good quality stuff. But you have an event coming up. Tell me a
yeah.
little. Yeah.
So we're hosting a 2-day live event, actually, February 24th, 25th, Columbus, Ohio.
10 days from now.
Yep, just 10 days from now. It's myself and Tommy Har. We're going to be co hosting that right in Columbus. It's a live 2-day uh, acquisition sales training. Okay, now I recommend if your acquisitions, if you're dispo, if you're TC, all this is important because everybody's connecting with clients on the sales side of things. So, but we're at 2-day training, very intense. We're going to go through my complete sales process from beginning to end. We're also going to jump in and actually do, David said it's going to be pretty cool. We're actually do live calls with sellers.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, try to put some deals together right on the spot. We're going to role play. So it's going to be a very intense 2 days. We have a lot of people that send their acquisition reps, smaller businesses, the owners come to on things. So very powerful 2 days there on things. The cool thing about it is it's in Columbus. I think I gave you the link too.
Oh, yes. Sorry guys, let me drop that here for you.
And then on top of that, if you cannot make it in person, guys, we have a virtual option too.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So who is this event for? Like if I'm watching this, like, and I'm like, there's really not a lot of events anymore. I feel like they've all kind of people aren't doing as many events, but I know I need some training. I know I set goals for 2025 and I really want to, improve this year. Like who is the ideal person to attend this event?
Well, it's really kind of twofold on that. And one is it's the small investor
Mm-hmm.
who's doing acquisitions themselves, or maybe they have somebody helping them on things, and they just want to get good at converting more of the leads that they have, a lot of times without spending more marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and creating bigger margins on a per transaction basis. So it's that investor that's working small business, maybe solopreneur or has a small team, but also it's for the bigger investor who says, hey, I don't have time to train my team. So
Yeah.
I'm going to send them to Jerry's event and send them to that boot camp, and then let them train them on things.
And I think that's smart. You know, we always talk about bringing in experts into your business to do the things that you may not be great at. I ran a great company, but sales acquisitions was not the side of the business that I was the strongest. I was certainly stronger on the disposition side. So that's why we sent our people up there, because I wanted my folks to win and have the absolute best training possible. So I appreciate you. You've been doing this for a long time, and you certainly helped our company.
Well, thank you, David. I appreciate it, man. And I love you, brother.
I appreciate that. Well, guys, we're just a couple of seconds over. So, Jerry, I appreciate it. Guys, this has been another 20-minute pop-up. Make sure you watch for these. Check the link. Man, if you cannot get to Columbus, it is cold there this time of year, but there's definitely a virtual option, and you do not want to miss this. I can tell you that it made a big difference in my business. Guys, thank you so much, Jerry. I appreciate you, brother.